and those younger people have turned strongly against free markets. They're pretty much in favor of socialism. So we're going to see the Democratic Party change in a Mamdani direction.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with Editor-in-Chief Hugo Gurdon. Hugo, Zohran Mamdani is now the mayor-elect of New York City. Not an unexpected outcome in that mayoral race, but what might have been a little unexpected was the tenor of his victory speech after he won on Tuesday, and you wrote a little bit about this. What did we learn about what's in store from that speech?
Sarah, that's an extraordinary contrast. His victory was entirely expected after he won the Democratic primary, and he romped home easily enough against Andrew Cuomo. But there was rather a shock in store for a lot of people when he came on stage and made his victory speech. The tenor of the speech, as you say, was striking. It was as though, as I've written, he kind of ripped off the mask of a calm and a sort of tolerant and embracing candidate, and he really wanted to gloat and say, okay, we're in charge now. He said, New York's a city of immigrants, it's powered by immigrants, and now it's run by an immigrant. And the truth is that 60% of the population is non-immigrant. So he kind of wanted to stick it to them. He also, I think, was strikingly, there was a dishonesty in there, because he said, this is now, the power is now in the hands that in the past have just been bruised by menial work or burned in the kitchens and bruised on the handlebars of delivery bikes, as though he were voted into office by the people at the bottom end of the social scale. That's completely false. He was voted into office by the 58% of New Yorkers who have either four-year bachelor degrees or higher degrees. The remaining population all voted more for Andrew Cuomo than they did for Mandani. So he's a very fluent, nice-looking, presentable democratic socialist. He's a rich kid pretending to be a man of the people. And what he did was he was very attractive to the people higher up the educational and sort of social scale, many of whom are sort of crushed under tens of thousands or even perhaps $100,000 of college debt, who love the promise of free stuff. It makes them feel virtuous. They like the idea of free childcare. He is going to give New York socialist policies good and hard. Free buses, which are likely to become homeless shelters on wheels. Grocery stores, government grocery stores, these sort of things that have not worked before. So New York voted for it. New York's now going to find out what it's like.
Democrats are seemingly eager to elevate Mamdani as, look, we're still producing fresh talent, new stars. We're not all just octogenarians, which has been a typical critique from the Democratic base. But Republicans are also eager to make Mamdani the face of the Democratic Party, right?
Yes, both sides. Certainly the Republicans now have someone on whom they can train their fire. He is a straight-out socialist. And not only is he a socialist, he's also supportive of pretty much everything against Israel. I mean, he will not reject the idea of globalize the intifada. That means murder Jews all over the world. He won't repudiate that. He is a man of the modern left, which melds this sort of anti-American, a kind of extreme egalitarianism, and so that's what he is. But he's very fluent. He talks well. He can look highly presentable. He's in a way like Obama was back in 2008, where just visually and because of who he is. I mean, he's Asian in origin, so he's darker skinned. He is he's a man of the left. He's very presentable, the kind of person that Joe Biden called clean, presentable, etc., etc., in that Biden way. So he can reshape or reform the way the Democratic Party looks. As I say, Republicans love that because they can pin his policies and his extremism on the Democratic Party, and they've already started doing that. But the Democrats are saying, well, look at this, it worked, just as it worked in 2008 for them. And obviously, Mandani can't have presidential ambitions because he wasn't born in this country. He's not. He's naturalized. But there's a lot of Democrats who think, oh, this is the energy. He managed to harness the new, especially the young, radical energy that is now taking over the Democratic Party. And I think a lot of people will ape what he does.
So let's talk about that, because you are right that the Democrats are having conversations about, look at this playbook, not just this is the type of candidate we should be recruiting or the types of policies that we should run on with an overarching emphasis on affordability, but also just tactically going on podcasts, making TikToks, appearing at different types of venues. Is all of that replicable across, battleground states? Do not have the same demographic and ideological makeup of New York City. Is it a replicable playbook?
Well, it'll be replicable in some places and with some people. There will be some people who will look thoroughly out of place, going to, being a DJ or whatever, and or pretending to be hip. It doesn't play so well perhaps in Iowa or somewhere like that. And obviously there are people who, as you say, the Democratic Party, it's got a lot of very elderly people, and it's not, I think, insignificant that Nancy Pelosi has just announced that she won't be running again. The Democratic Party has had a problem with what might call seniority, which is to say that its people have got older and older and older in office and not made way for younger Democrats. Certainly, they can't do that forever, and Mandani has kind of arrived at a time when there is a very strong feeling in the Democratic Party that they need to communicate better, engage better, somehow identify better with younger people, and those younger people have turned strongly against free markets. They're pretty much in favor of socialism. So we're going to see the Democratic Party change in a Mamdani direction.
Well, Hugo, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more from Hugo and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.